Did you know that Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm has a podcast and that we go live every week with a lineup of shows on BND TV? Head over to our YouTube channel today and subscribe for the latest in real estate, entertainment, education, and information. Here's what you missed last week.
I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But Coach told me I can never miss a Monday.
Week. And you know, Coach Mike, we have some really exciting questions that members of our audience have submitted for this week's show. And if you're ready, I want to get to question number one.
Man, let's do it.
Let's check it out. Coach Mike, what are the top 5 things that people are looking for in a real estate agent?
What are the top 5 things? And look, Rick, do we got to do 5 though? Oh man, what are the top 5 things? All right, so here, I can definitely say the number one thing, right? What most people feel like people are looking for in a realtor, in a real estate agent. This is what most agents, I'm talking to agents, what they think that most people is like the number one thing is knowledge. That's what they think. They think that people care that you know the absolute most about everything when it comes to real estate and what you're doing. That's what most of my agents think, right? And a lot of them, that's what they focus on when they first get in this business. They want to know everything. They want to know it all before they take any kind of action, before they talk to anybody, before they try to help anybody. They want to learn as much as they can. And this is what I tell them, Rick. You know this. Anybody that's been in real estate and done any level amount of transactions in real estate knows this, that you'll never be prepared enough. The way that you learn this business is by helping people, going out there and attempting to help as many people as possible that you can, right? So what I found, Rick, in my 18 years in this business, that the number one thing that people care about when it comes to a real estate agent, they care about how much you care about them. That's what they care about. They care about how much are you going to go to bat? How much are you going to put in the work and the effort and the care and the patience and do whatever it takes to satisfy their real estate need? Whether that's them buying a house, selling a house, renting an apartment, whatever the need is, they care about how much you care. And that's what I tell my agents, Rick, is that as long as that's a true statement, that nobody's going to outwork you when it comes to your client. If you can look your client in the eye, I mean, I'm talking fresh off passing the exam, Rick. Fresh off passing the exam, ain't did no deal, ain't did nothing. Just got your license from Trek. We didn't accepted you. You are active under Brooks & Davis sponsorship. Fresh off of that. You walk up to somebody and they say, I want to buy a house. And you look them in the eye and say, nobody's going to take care of you like me. You do that and you believe that, and that's the truth. That's the number one thing that people look for in a real estate agent. They're looking for you to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're taken care of. And in many instances, it has nothing to do with knowledge, because if you don't know something, especially with you being a part of Brooks & Davis, you're within a culture. You have the support under you that whatever that knowledge is that you need, you're going to be able to tap into somebody. You got Dion, our head of agent development. You got your mentor. You have your coach. You have me, your broker. You have just a multitude of areas to go to get the knowledge that's necessary. So we can give you the information. And as you go and work with the person and work with the client and work to help them, you're going to get the information. You know, what we can't do for you is we can't care about the client for you. And that's what people want, right? All right. So now, what else are people looking for in a real estate agent? Because honestly, Rick, if you bring that to the table, you don't need nothing else. The other four don't matter.
The great thing about the advice and the information that Coach Mike is sharing is that it takes a really broad concept like overall real estate knowledge and helps everyone to boil it down to what's most important. And I agree with Coach Mike. The most important thing is to let your client know that you care, because before someone cares about how much you know, they want to know how much you care. So from that standpoint, it's nice to have you back with us, Coach Mike. I was just sharing with the audience how I agree with you wholeheartedly about how it's most important to let the clients know that you care about them as a person, you care about their needs as far as real estate, and you have their goals for their future in mind, as well as you assist them in going through their real estate transactions. So continue, Coach Mike, because I think it's really important for everyone in the audience to understand how important it is to have a certain mindset and to be confident in that you are a person of service when going out to let people know about what it is you provide as a real estate professional.
One of the things that I was saying, before the internet rudely kicked me off, so rude internet, that, if you bring that one to the table, then the other four don't matter. The client can feel and sense the depth of your care and empathy and concern for them. They can feel that. And that has absolutely nothing to do with how much you know. It has absolutely nothing to do with how long you've been in this business. Like, it has nothing to do with that. You can come out the gate saying nobody's going to outwork me as it relates to me taking care of my clients. And if you choose to hire me, nobody's going to do it better than me. I promise you. I guarantee it. I trust you. I guarantee it. You can believe, like, all of that. And you be sincere with that, that'll take your business to the next level. If new agents came out the gate with that level of confidence in themselves, that I'm going to take care of my client better than anybody else, if they came out the gate, their businesses would explode. But the reality is the way they come out, Rick, is they come out, I don't know enough. And because I don't know enough, then I don't have confidence in myself. And because I don't have confidence in myself, they showing up weak.
Right.
And they're showing up weak in that respect. So that's what people are looking for. They're looking for that. They're looking for how, you approaching their need with that level of intensity. All right. What else are they looking for? Now, yeah, they are looking to tap into your expertise, but look, you're not finna outshine Google. Google know everything, right? Many clients gonna come, they mess around and come back, have more knowledge than you, right? So don't get tripped up on the knowledge. Here's another thing: access. People are looking for you. There's a certain level of access that you have as a real estate professional that people do not have access to because they're not licensed.
Mm-hmm.
You need to leverage that access. Right? There are certain things there are certain resources. Just alone, you being a member, just alone, agents being a member of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, there are resources that they have access to that the regular consumer does not have access to, nor do they know about. You have access to that. So that's something else that people are looking for in real estate professionals, is the access to things that they don't have access to, and access to the information that they don't have access to, that they can't get from Google, because they don't even know what chain of words to even search for to try to get that information. So those are three big ones right there, Rick. I'm pretty sure I can come up with two other things that people are looking for. But man, I'm about, hey, you hit the big ones, then all the little ones fall in line.
No, I agree absolutely. Think the most important thing is to let them people know that there's no one that's gonna go the extra mile like you will to service their needs, and then that just goes all under the umbrella of communication, professionalism, courtesy, that type of thing. So I urge everyone to take advantage of the advice that Coach Mike just shared with you all. Be confident in your presentation and be confident that no one's going to work for your clients like you are. And that energy will give you not only the motivation, but also allow you to inspire your clients to move forward in their real estate transactions. So thank you so much, Coach Mike, man. If you got time, I want to check you. I want to see how you feel about our second question from our viewing audience.
Let's go, man. Let's do it.
Let's see. Coach Mike, where would you show in the 1-to-4 residential contract that the buyer agrees to pay half of the realtor commissions?
Okay. All right.
It's a unique scenario.
That is a unique scenario. I can appreciate this question, Rick. And the reason I can appreciate this question is because a lot of times agents, when they're in a deal, they just sacrifice sometimes the commission when the seller or the listing agent is only offering a certain amount. Instead of them approaching the buyer to cover the difference or cover their commission, they just go without. And, I tell my agents, look, your price is your price, right? This is your service. Yeah, it's typical that the seller pays the buyer's commission. But in the instance that the seller does not pay the buyer's commission on a particular home that the buyer is interested in, then it's only right that the buyer covers the difference, right? Because your cost is your cost for the service that you're providing, all right? So I can appreciate that question because clearly this real estate agent understood that and they got their buyer to agree to pay half of their commission in the instance that the seller wasn't willing to pay the portion. Now, I'm not saying, this isn't for the agent that is getting their seller portion and then they trying to double dip with the client. Like, don't do your client like that, right? They're already coming out of pocket a hefty load in many instances to purchase the home. So don't put no additional expenses on them like that. But in the event that the seller isn't coming up to the line and to the limit on the commission, then yeah, not only is it okay, but I encourage you to have your buyer's client, who you represent, who's getting the service, because especially if you like we said about earlier, you taking care of them like nobody, then you definitely want to ask them for their money. All right, now here's to the question, Rick. Where do you put it in the 1-to-4 family contract? I would put it, and I know, the realtor associations and TREC and all of that stuff, they try to scare us. Don't touch special provisions. Don't put nothing in special provisions. Like, they have us around here truly freaking out about putting a period, anything in that space in special provisions, right? That's where I would put it, Rick. I would put in special provision that the buyer to pay half of the realtor commission. Make it real simple, real clear. You probably want to have a separate agreement in writing between the buyer and the buyer's agent, reflecting, the portion that they're paying. You probably want to have that in place as well, and submit it to the title company. But at the least, you want to have it in the in the special provisions on the 1-to-4 family residential contract.
I really do appreciate that particular question, Coach Mike, because sometimes when you are doing these purchase agreements, we all know there is a section where you put in the realtor commission. But in this unique situation, you do need to establish in writing on the purchase agreement everything that everyone and all the parties are committing to. So your advice as far as putting that buyer commitment in a special provision, I think it does a great job of holding the buyer accountable to their commitment, letting the seller know what the buyer is committing to, and also allows the title company to know what to expect at the end when they are finishing up the file, balancing the CD, and making sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted.
Absolutely. And you want to, protect your cash. So, don't be surprised that title company forget that they put that money on that, put on that CD, on that closing disclosure wrong. So you better make sure you got your evidence to back up, because the title company only gonna do on that closing disclosure what that contract say.
No, absolutely. And I hope the person who submitted that question can truly appreciate your answer, because it's a really straightforward question that we appreciate. And the answer that you gave them is some of the best advice that someone can give them, especially considering that's a unique situation. But Take advantage. Make sure you protect yourself.
Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Are you an inspiring entrepreneur? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level. My name is Larry W. Brooks, and I am the author of Empowering Quotes for the Entrepreneur in You and The Entrepreneur Code. In these two books, I guarantee you there's success secrets that will take your business to the next level. I personally invite you to visit LarryWBrooks.com. Go under the books link and purchase your signed personal copy from myself. You have a great day and have an awesome 2020.
Podcast. So could you just share a little bit about your background with this week's guest with our audience?
Man, this week's guest is no short of amazing, man. And I'm not just saying that because we come from the same Houston city blocks, but I'm saying that because of just some of the things and the way that he's built out some things. And he's tagged himself as the global entrepreneur. And as we talk to him, you're gonna understand why that is. But for the most part, man, I've known Marcus for years, man, had an opportunity just really following his career and just watching him build out. Our circles are so intertwined. We both move in the same circles of some of the same people with the same influences. So, you know, like you said, it's been I've been reaching out and trying to get him on here for quite some time. Finally was able to lock him down. And we got this global entrepreneur on here today, man. These gems that people gonna hear, I'm hoping that they just take a little bit and try to find some ways to create their own steps or their own belief systems, right? Because a lot of this do buy into mindset, growth in your journey. So we're gonna have an opportunity to reach out to my friend and pick his brain about his journey.
Oh man, look. Without any further ado, I want to take some time to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman is not only a highly successful entrepreneur, he is a highly talented comedian, a great entertainer. Like Larry mentioned, he's a global entrepreneur. You may know him as the owner and founder of She's Happy Hair. I want to thank him so much in advance for sitting in with us, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Marcus Bowers. How you doing?
Yeah, crowd goes wild, man. Your boy doing yes, sir. Happy Thursday, man. You know, thanks for having me. I'm doing amazing. I'm working hard and enjoying life is what I tell people when they ask how I'm doing. I always start with that. I am working hard and enjoying life. That's what I'm doing. How you guys doing?
Oh, no, we good. Matter of fact, let me get that applause out here, man. I ain't going short on that applause.
Give him that is. Give it to him, man.
Gotta give me one of those.
Marcus, it's really great to have you sitting in with us, man. You've always been a fine example of what ambition, focus, and grind can do for someone who's building their own business and want to level up every year. And as we go into a new year, that's one of the things that Larry and I like to focus on, is setting those goals and making sure you propel your business to higher heights every year. So for those in our audience, Marcus, who are just meeting you for the first time, could you just introduce a little bit about some of your companies and some of the good services that you all provide?
Yeah, for sure. So again, I'm Marcus Bowers. I'm a globalpreneur. For starters, you know, a globalpreneur is somebody that does entrepreneurial things all over the globe. You know, you see a lot of people that do entrepreneurial stuff where they're at. I like to do entrepreneurial stuff everywhere. So I am that. I'm the type of person that go get it and then come back with it. So I travel all over the world, China, Brazil, Africa, India, wherever I got to go to get the stuff that's not made here in the U.S. I come back, I create .coms, a storefront if necessary, and then I find customers and I transact with those customers, not once, but hopefully for the rest of their lives. I try to teach people that you want to jump into industries where you can get the customer forever and not just one time. And so that's what we've been doing. You know, we started She's Happy Hair back in 2012, exactly 10 years ago, with just $800. And we've grown way over $100 million in sales since then from that one particular brand. And again, shout out to the team. Shout out to Team She's Happy Hair. With She's Happy Hair, we've been rocking and rolling, expanding across the U.S. We're the first hair company to sell hair extensions inside of Walmart. We finance hair extensions. We got a few brick and mortar locations in major cities across the U.S., and we employ so many people from our own community. And so with those same strategies that I used to grow and start She's Happy Hair, we started jumping into other industries, man. I tell people, all the time, like before 2020, I only had one brand. You know what I'm saying? Your boy only had one stream of income prior to 2020. Yeah, I do comedy too, but that wasn't where the money was at. The money is in business for me, right? So when 2020 hit and Corona hit and the world shut down, it just let me know that, hey, there's a lot of opportunity out here, because when the world stopped, I kept going. I never stopped. The money kept coming in for us because we were already making money online. And so when Corona hit, the people that was used to going to get money couldn't go get money. But the people that was already used to making money online, we just continued to make money. And so that's where you see the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, because if you wasn't making money online before 2020, and it took you between now and 2020 to start making money online, Amazon and She's Happy Hair and everybody, we light years ahead. You know what I'm saying? With it, so we use those same strategies to jump into industries like house shoes. So I got a company called LifeLax Global, where we sell house shoes to everybody around the world. When Corona hit, I started thinking about, like, what's one thing that I could sell to everybody around the world? And you start thinking about what that one thing is. For me, it was house shoes, because I started asking the people around me, like, hey, what kind of house shoes you got at home? What kind of slippers you got at the crib? And nobody could tell me the brand name. And so that let me know that that market, that industry was wide open. Wow. And so when I look at a wide open industry, I jump in head first. And so before jumping in, I want to make sure that I could really make as much money as I wanted to and get as many customers as I wanted to. So you just remember walking outside during Corona and seeing those families walking outside together through your neighborhood, or seeing people walking outside by themselves, because again, the world was shut down. So you couldn't do much but walk outside, So I saw people walking outside the neighborhood, started thinking, like, that whole family tree wear house shoes. Mama, daddy, uncle, cousin, sister, daughter, brother, grandpa, grandma, everybody wear house shoes. And so if everybody wear house shoes, I want to sell something that's inside of everybody's household. And so when you're thinking about a product to sell to your entrepreneurs or to your network, just think about a product that's in everybody's house. Go get it, come back with it, creator.com, and then market to everybody, because everybody needs it. And everybody needs house shoes, not one time, but for the rest of their lives. And so I jumped into a company called LifeLax Global. It's America's first slipper subscription service company. We sell a lot of house.
You got a subscription for it? Come on, man.
When I got on Clubhouse, again, shout out to my Clubhouse people, man. A lot of people got on Clubhouse and got back off. I got on Clubhouse and stayed, because that's where the information was at. It's not a lot of places where I can walk on earth and talk to some billionaires and millionaires and get these strategies and then implement them real time. When I got on Clubhouse, I started listening to what the billionaires and the millionaires were doing. And what all the billionaires are doing, they not just making money. Everybody can make money, right? But the billionaires, they make money from you forever. Think about Apple Music, right? We used to buy CDs. I was just talking to my homeboys about you could tell who had money back then, back in the 90s or the early 2000s, based on the amount of CDs you had in your CD case. You know what I'm saying? I had that big, thick CD case, right? I had to flip my CDs, and so that's what I did with my bread. But nowadays, you just pay $9.99 for the rest of your life to hear everything that you want to hear. But that $9.99 not going to you or the artist, is going to Apple. And then the same thing with Amazon Prime. You got Netflix, all these subscriptions, all these billion-dollar companies got memberships and subscriptions. And so I was like, I want some of that. I want to do that. I don't want to just transact and make money from you individually one time or every now and then. I want that subscription. I want that for show money coming in. And so I started working on that. And that's what LifeLax Global is. So go follow LifeLax Global on social media and buy some shoes. Plus, Black Lives Matter, right? If Black Lives Matter, show me. If you and you got somebody else's house shoes in your house, come holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Tell your people, come get some house shoes too, right? Again, not one time, but for the rest of your life. I got a company called Hanging Gang that allows me to go get the money. So I was in Sacramento, California, about 2-3 years ago. I was at this event called, it was a Memorial Day weekend, and it was a festival. And so at this particular festival, they had a bunch of vendors, and one of the vendors had a pull-up bar that allowed you to pay $20, hang for 100 seconds for your chance to win $100. And so I did that twice. I was in Sacramento, California. I did it twice. I lost $40. And so when I lost the second time, I got off the bar and I sat there, just distraught, upset at myself for losing. But I actually in charge of the bar. I said, man, how long do you go without somebody winning? And he looked me in my eyes. I never gonna forget this. That boy looked me in my eyes. He was like, man, I go weeks.
Weeks?
And so when he told me that, I was in Sacramento, California when he told me that. I came back to Houston, Texas with that on my mind. Like, I want to go weeks with no winning suit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Them $20 add up. And so I came back to Houston. I found the CNC machinist. I found the welder. I found different people to bring that actual device to life and to recreate that pull-up bar. And so I recreated it, and now I'm making money. And I created a brand called Hang and Game. Hang and Game. And the reason why I did that is because there's so many people around the world, around the U.S., in your city or state, making money where they at, but they're not even interested in making a brand. They just interested in making money where they at. But when you create a brand, you can push that brand all over the U.S. And so my idea is to do Hang and Game, not at just the festivals where I'm at, but at festivals all across the U.S. at the same time. And so I'm going to be able to supply jobs and opportunity to those that don't have it. So that's just another business. There's no rush with that. I'm making money with it. Every time I pull my pull-up bar out, I make a good $2,000-$3,000 every event.
Come on, man. Listen.
$300 to be a vendor at this space. But once I pull out that bar and the people walking by, everybody think they can do it. You know what I'm saying? And so
man, how long are they supposed to be able to hang?
Just 100 seconds. So it's 100 seconds for the weak men and the women, but it's 120 seconds for the strong man. You know what I'm saying? If you think you're a strong man and you think you got what it takes, go on, get up there and hang on for just 120 seconds. And it's just, you pay 20, hang for a few seconds, and you win $100. But I hope that there's never a lot of winners. Every now and then people win. We've even had some, women win, but I don't like when people win at all. You know, so I want everybody to so that's my goal, right? And so I get to go to every festival across the U.S. and do this thing at these festivals. So I hope to see Hang and Gang at the rodeo this year. I'm praying for it. I hope God, we get out there to the rodeo and make all the money. So another business I have is the Kolache Shack. We're in Colorado Springs. That was a business that we started in the midst of coronavirus as well. We saw that there were food deserts. All the few restaurants that were still open that were essential was packed and long. And then you had the opportunity where if you went inside a restaurant, you were still risking your life by taking your mask off and eating inside the restaurant. And so with that thought, we thought about the Kolache Shack, where a shack isn't a spot where you can come in and eat. A shack is a spot where you just pull up, drive through, and drive home and go eat your food, or you can walk up and order at the window, but you can't come in and eat. There's no sit down and eating as far as the Kolache Shack goes. And so Kolache, a lot of people in the city of Houston, some people in Houston don't even know what a Kolache is, right?
Let me tell you. So when I first heard you say this, Marcus, when we was on Clubhouse, I was like, I never thought about it because I knew what it was. But man, I've been to places like Arizona, and they was like a Kolache. Like they know about donuts, but they had never heard of Kolache. So go into that a little bit, man. That's crazy to me.
Man, and that goes right back into the hanging game. Anything you do in one city, you can do in another. Mm-hmm. Business is business, no matter the industry. And so what I did was I was looking online. I remember I was in my bed. I'm laying in my bed. I had just talked to my homeboy in Colorado about, restaurants and opportunity and what to sell and things like that. And so I looked up Kolache Factory on my Google Maps. And when I looked up Kolache Factory on my Google Maps, I saw that it was about 50 to 75 Kolache factories in Houston alone. Yeah. That means that whoever owned the Kolache Factory winning, because you're not going to open up 75 Kolache factories unless the want want it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what that let me know is that if the people want it here in Houston, Texas, then they're going to want it all over the U.S. They're going to want it all over the world. You just got to tell them that they want it. You got to introduce it to them. And so what I did was I took that thought, that idea to Colorado, and we started a Kolache Shack. Shout out to Daniel Howard. He's the CEO of the Kolache Shack. And we've been open for, since Corona started. So 2 years and counting. We've been rocking and rolling with the same strategies that we use, again, to start and grow She's Happy Here, to start and grow all my companies, man. And when you think about Kolache Shack or Kolache Factory, I never rode a Kolache before in my life.
Yeah.
But when you understand what the industry calls for and you understand how to digitally talk to people online without meeting them to get them to come transact with you, then you understand business. And so what I did was I got inspired. I went to the Kalachi factory, emails and newsletters and text messages, and I gave them all my information because I want them to tell me what they saying to the customer to get them to come buy some kolaches so I can do the same thing in Colorado Springs. And so, again, we've been open, man, and we got a strong team out there. The community loves us. So that's the Kolache Shack. Man, I got so many businesses, you know what I'm saying? I can stop there.
So tell me about this digital real estate, because I know you're in the digital real estate space too. So a lot of times, is that what you're considering your .coms or your is the part of your digital real estate?
No. So when you think about digital real estate, right, most people only think about the .com, like you said. But when I think about digital real estate, I think about my domain. And so when you look up the word domain, your domain is all of you, not just the .com. The .com is just a small piece of your domain. So Marcus Bowers TV, my domain, you know, is Google, PayPal, it's social media, it's the .com. It's whatever you see online is a part of my domain. And so most of the time we only focus on the .com, and that's where we fall short. You always want to have a website and you always want to claim that digital real estate, but most people don't claim the rest of their digital real estate. And so what I teach people is to use namecheck.com to see what real estate is still available for you to go claim. Because you can type in namecheck.com and type in any brand name that you can think of, it's going to show up. And when it shows up, it's going to let you know if that name is available on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, if the .com is still available, if the .org is still available, what's still available. And whatever is still available, you need to go claim that real estate right now before somebody else do. Because just like physical real estate, right? We're on Prime Real Estate Network. If you don't go claim that real estate, somebody else gonna go claim it. So if you got a Twitter and you got an Instagram, but you don't have a TikTok, if somebody beats you to that TikTok name, they sitting on it. And now you got to go ask to get them, get it from them or ask to buy it from them or, those type of things. So to prevent that, go claim your digital domain right now because you need it. Metaverse is part of your digital domain. Web3 is part of your digital domain. Your digital domain is widespread, but sometimes we only see what we see.
Yeah. Okay.
Marcus, and I appreciate you being so candid and transparent about as far as what you're doing currently, because, sometimes, to your point, we worry so much as entrepreneurs about making sure we protect all of our intellectual property, all of our best ideas to make sure that we're not taken advantage of. So for the members of our audience to hear someone who's been so successful in one stream of business to still be so ambitious and so motivated to still establish all those extra arms and tentacles, a part of your business empire. Because Larry and I talk about it a lot, that in public schools, they don't always have entrepreneurial classes. They don't always bring in people like yourself, people like Larry, people like myself to motivate and inspire that next generation. So I know you and Larry go back decades, but for our audience, what motivated you? What did you do before you decided to start this entrepreneurial journey? And what would you credit as almost like that tipping point?
So, I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people grew up in the hood. I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to wear hand-me-down drawers when I was little. Yeah. I was talking to some people yesterday. I wore my sister clothes to school my senior year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that type of person. So I come from that. I didn't have a lot of examples around me. Wasn't a lot of entrepreneurs, it wasn't a lot of people with college degrees. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I got a chance to go to the Navy and save my life. My homeboys gang bang. I can show you my DMs right now on my IG. One of my other homeboys just talking yesterday about how you still 40 and gang banging. You know what I'm saying? So I go from that. You know what I'm saying? And so just to see that's the results you get from doing that. It just shows you, like, I made the right decision by changing my life and changing my environment and going to the U.S. Navy, where I was able to go to boot camp. And it's strictly, as soon as I graduated from boot camp, I had more money than everybody in my house. You know what I'm saying? And so I never looked back. I never looked back since. My nickname in San Diego was Pop Trump. If you know anything about Houston, if you know anything about H-Town, man, the goal is to ride slab. You know what I'm
Ride
saying?
slab, baby. Drop that trunk,
Look, I try to tell these kids, the youth, like, hey, you can go ride slab in San Diego right now, right? Even though you don't really want to ride slab, you have the finances to do so. I wouldn't encourage anybody to ride slab because you risk your life, right? But just knowing that you get those opportunities when you go put on a uniform and serve, and then when you get out, you get a chance to still serve and still get all the benefits. And so that's what I did, man. I got a chance to do what the people around me wasn't doing. I knew what the people around me was doing, but I didn't want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if I do what they doing, then I'm gonna be just like them. So let me do something that nobody's doing. Nobody went to the military around me. Nobody went to college around me. And so I'm always the one person doing what other people aren't doing. Kanye West just made a point in one of his interviews. He said that, hey, if you see a bunch of people running down the street, it's a marathon. But you see one person running down the street with his shirt off, he crazy. And so I like being crazy. I like being a crazy guy. You know what I'm saying? I like doing what the other people not doing. I like blazing my own trail. I like leading myself opposed to following any one person for too long. I tell people all the time, if you follow any one person for too long, you might die because that's not your purpose. You live in somebody else's purpose. You know what I'm saying? You got to jump out and jump back in. You can go back and learn from those other great leaders, but you don't want to follow them for too long. And so myself, I don't hang out with people. You know what I'm saying? I only get better with people. If I'm hanging out with a bunch of people, we got to be getting better together. If we're not getting better in that group, I got to lead to go get better. So I'm not clicked up. You know, I don't have an entourage. I don't really do those type of things. I just know what it takes to always get to that next level. And no matter what, you got to learn how to change your situation. And so that's what I've been doing my whole life, just learning, educating myself, reading, applying, implementing. And at the same time, you know, I know a lot of people we graduated with that just stopped reading. They haven't read anything since high school, probably. And you can see it in the results that they're getting from their lives. And so again, I learn from other people's mistakes, and I just make sure I don't make those same mistakes. I love being different. I like being the oddball out. And I'll use another example. When I talk to kids at colleges or high schools, and I got the whole classroom attention or the whole auditorium and gym, I tell them like, hey, everybody stand up. You plan on going to college, stand up. Everybody stand up. I ask them, hey, you plan on going to college to get a good job? Raise your hand. Everybody raise their hand. And I tell them, hey, if you plan on going to college to create good jobs, come stand over here with me. Yeah. There's only like one or two people that come stand over here with me. And that's really how life is. You know, life got a bunch of doers and listeners, but not people that's out here creating and being innovational, you know. So I want to be that. I want to be remembered. I want to create a legacy. I want a park named after me, man. I want
Come on, man. Listen. You want scholarships behind your name, man.
You know, all these streets with all these other people that we don't know. We riding out Westheimer. Who is Westheimer? I don't know that, man. Ride down Bowers Boulevard at some point in time. It ain't got to be in Houston. It can be in any part of the world. I just want something. I want park, school, library, something. Help people out. So that's what I'm doing. As if I care, as if I want to be remembered.
You know, I asked you earlier, you know, we were just talking about what you did before you became a business owner. But one of the things that I don't want members of our audience to undervalue is something that you haven't had a chance to mention, but I want to give you an opportunity to share your thoughts on this with our audience. A lot of times, especially when you come from the inner city, urban environments where we may not necessarily have an example as far as entrepreneurship and business ownership, sometimes we'll have members of our circle and social circle that may cut corners in business, that might want to color outside the lines. With the success that you've enjoyed with your various companies, could you just explain to our audience how important it is to do everything squared away legally, to make sure all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, so that when you do have a successful business venture, it is something that you can maintain and build on?
Yeah, so I guess I'll talk about what's most important to me in business. Mm-hmm. Most people think that money is the most important thing in business, but it's not. You know, anybody can get money, but you got to be educated to keep it. I saw so many people growing up, you know, getting money and then just spending it. And then I saw so many people get money and then some invest. And so what I did was I got smarter first, because I used to get $8,000+ of income tax every year for my income tax, right? I would always get that big check and I would always spend it because I didn't know what to do with it. But the one time that I had $800 and a business degree, and I combined the business degree with $800, I was able to flip that into millions. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important to educate yourself on everything first. And then the second thing is to collect the data along the way.
Yeah.
Too many times we jump into industries that we just don't really know too much about, but we know it's a lot of money in it. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that, again, like I was saying, you get a customer more than once. You want to make sure that you collecting the data during the transaction. You want to make sure that you can talk to that customer when they're not in front of you as if your life depended on it. Everybody's making money, but the billionaires are online. So you got thousandaires making money. You got millionaires making money, but the billionaires, we don't meet them. They in our inbox. They text us every now and then. You know, they tell us happy birthday. They let us know that our subscription service is past due. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to be more of that. And so in order to be more of that, you got to do more online because there's only so much money you can make in person. There's only so much money you can transact from people and get, you know, a hand-to-hand commerce. And so once I learned that, I started studying the data, the analytics, the digital marketing, the communication, all of the CRMs, the texting, the emails. I wanted to know what these billionaires are saying to people to make them purchase online without meeting them. And so I became an expert at that. So we sell a lot of bundles, sell a lot of house shoes, sell a lot of kolaches. And any business that I'm a part of, we're not just going to make money, but we're gonna make sure we make it forever because we're going to be talking to the customers strategically. We're going to automate everything. I let people know all the time, like if either you're in the matrix or you're creating the matrix.
Yeah.
And so we all got emails from all these companies and stuff. So if you're getting the email from these companies, you're in the matrix.
You're in the matrix, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I like to create the matrix. You know what I'm saying? If you don't automate your life, somebody will. And so I like to automate the lives around me instead of just letting the lives automate my life. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
No doubt, man. Hey, that's fighting for sure.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know, for all those members of our audience, man, and like I said, I know you're a busy man, and I know how it is with Thursdays. Larry and I joke about how for business owners, Thursdays can be the busiest day of the week because we either setting up that travel for Friday or have things planned for that weekend. So thank you so much. And my final question for you, and this is for all the members of our audience who have heard your story, who are gravitating towards your message, who haven't had your particular entrepreneurial message shared upon them by people who look like them, sound like them, come from the same places that they come from. So for members of our audience who fall into that sphere, how can they tap in, stay engaged, follow your movement, and stay involved with Mr. Marcus Bowers, Globalpreneur?
Man, thanks for asking. You know, one thing a lot of people don't know is before, you know, I started She's Happy Here 10 years ago, I was a school teacher. You know, so
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
I started a certified teacher, man. I was going to be in the schools. I was going to work my way up the administration and be a principal for in some of these hood schools. You know, that was my goal. And in the summertime of that year that I was teaching, I started She's Happy Here. And so, you know, once business took off, I didn't get back into the classrooms, but I still spend a lot of time on campus teaching and leading the students, even though I'm not a teacher or a professor, right? Because it's in me, it's not on me. And so knowing that I'm still doing it online, you know, again, a lot of education is going to be taught online. Nowadays, you don't really have to get in your car and drive down the street and find parking on a college campus. Now you can just click here to learn more. And so if you stay with me, you stick around in my network, you can't help but to learn more because that's all I'm doing. I'm learning, getting it, and then I'm sharing it to the people. I call it the Underground Railroad. Yeah. I'm the Harriet Tubman of South Park around this piece, man. You
Come on, man.
If we don't go get it and then come back with it, there's going to be so many people behind us stuck. And so I know that. And so I'm making sure I go get it and come back with it. So to come get it from me, you text the word Globalpreneur to 888-111. Text that word Globalpreneur to 888-111, and you go automatically start getting these messages, these gems, these entrepreneurial tips, ways to help you grow in business, while at the same time having the ability to receive those Zoom links that's going to allow me to log in and show you what I'm doing to win instead of just hearing it like you're hearing it right now. I like to show people. One thing I learned about Clubhouse, man, is like on Clubhouse, everybody talk that talk, right?
But everybody talk that talk.
You know what I'm saying? Boys ain't believing you, man. You know what I'm saying? So in order to get that belief, I just want to hop on a Zoom, on a virtual Zoom call with a bunch of people and just show everybody what we're really doing right now to win. I've been doing this for so long, man. Like add another one, add another one. There's 3 8s and 3 1s, 3 8s and 3 1s. And so if you was on my calls here this past week, around Black Friday, you made some money because Black Friday came and went, right? Black Friday ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be back again next year. So if you didn't do Black Friday this year, or you didn't do it good this year, then next year you should be able to slam dunk it if you part of my network, because we made $480,000 just off emails on Black Friday. These are just strategies that I'm using that anybody can use. And so I talk to entrepreneurs, they be like, I ask them, like, you sending in the emails? They be like, no, I ain't sending none. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? You ain't collecting no data. Your list not
collect that data, man.
What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? And so when I'm asking people, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they started telling me that they're not doing it, I want to show them what I'm doing to inspire them to do it. And sometimes the words don't work. Sometimes you got to see it. And when you see $480,000 in the past 30 days just off emails, that should motivate you to go start creating stuff on the back end. You know,
real quick. No doubt about it.
Man, so I can't wait to see some of y'all network from the Prime Real Estate Network in that Globalpreneur coaching call, because it's not even just about being an entrepreneur. Business is business, no matter the industry. So whether you're in real estate, whether you're in sales, whether you're in services, you need these strategies that I'm talking about, because it ain't going nowhere. We all got access to the same tools and resources, just like the billionaires. I just happen to know some of them, and I'm trying to give them to the world.
No doubt about it, man.
Hey, man, look, man, this episode, man, if you could just see the live reaction that we get, man, in the chat, big, huge shout out to everybody who's checking us out live on YouTube, man. Hit the subscribe, like, and share. Go reach out to Mr. Marcus Bowers on Instagram, man. Follow, get involved, holler at the Texas Real Estate King, man. Marcus, thank you so much, man.